Here's an essay that I just wrote and I'm about to send out to the Cove congregation. The title is Back to Common Sense. In a lot of areas, I think we'd all agree that we've simply moved forward with no intention of looking back. I mean, even in my lifetime, I've seen telephones go from something with a rotary dial that we leased from Ma Bell to a little mini computer that we can carry around in our pockets. And with respect to medicine, I've seen folks move from seeing cancer as a death sentence to just another disease that can be treated. And even driving has changed. This morning I did a wedding in South Park, Pennsylvania, and rather than trusting a map and trying to guesstimate the driving time, I just punched the address into my phone, plugged my phone into my car, and on a screen right there on the dashboard, the GPS showed me exactly how to get to where I needed to go, and was within 2 minutes of predicting the amount of time it would take. I can tell you, just remembering how hard it was to read a map while driving, to say nothing of trying to refold it, I really don't want to go back. Of course, not all these advances have been positive. And even though I believe we could all come up with some that have had negative consequences, in my opinion, one of the worst things we've left behind is what was once called common sense. I mean, rather than applying common sense to some of the issues we now face, we seem content to drift towards polarized extremes, assuming positions that are often so radical or reactionary that any meeting of the minds is impossible. Somehow, somewhere, common sense, compromise, and even moderation has gotten lost in our mad dash to be either conservative or progressive. Unfortunately, we can see the negative consequence of this attitude in our approach to gun violence. I think we all know that mass shootings have become almost a weekly occurrence in America. A car backfiring will send people diving for cover. A friend of mine has decided to come to church armed because he's concerned that churches are the kind of soft targets that homegrown terrorists tend to seek out. And I read last week that the country of Uruguay is warning its citizens about traveling to the United States. Now that's the reality of living between Canada and Mexico. But instead of discussing and considering some common sense solutions, both sides immediately take things out of the discussion. For example, for one side, any limitation on gun sales, even background checks, is unacceptable. And for the other side, any focus on the impact of video games and media-inspired violence is off the table. Now, in spite of the reality that both availability and desensitivity are factors that I believe everyone recognizes, our decision to make political agendas more important has resulted in a situation within which no meaningful solution can be found. You see, anything close to common sense has been left in the dust. And even though that seems to have happened within our society, I think it should be resisted by people of faith. In other words, we should be working to restore common sense and meaningful discussions to their rightful place. But this isn't just my opinion. I think it has some solid biblical support. For example, just listen to this passage from Proverbs. He grants a treasure of common sense to the honest. He is a shield to those who walk with integrity. He guards the path of the just and protects those who are faithful to him. Then you will understand what is right, just, and fair, and you will find the right way to go. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will fill you with joy. Wise choices will watch over you. Understanding will keep you safe. You see, according to this writer, not only is common sense a gift from God, it protects those who are faithful, because it leads them to what is right and just and fair. That's what basic common sense offers. And if we applied it to some of the issues we face as a society, including gun violence, I think we'll see some positive, even godly results. You see, finally we'll be able to discuss issues without caveats and exceptions. And finally we'll be able to break from the ideological straitjackets that limit our view and perspectives, so that we can look past the labels and see the truth. And finally we'll be able to reach conclusions that may not be good theater or politics, but just makes good common sense. There are many things that should remain in the past. Personally, I don't look back wistfully to that one black phone hardwired in our house, nor the fear that surrounded the word cancer, nor those crumbled maps shoved in the glove box. In short, I don't want to go back. But for me, that's not true when it comes to common sense. Maybe in that one area we need to see a renaissance. And this can be led by people of faith, trusting that God is with us and that He inspires us. And with that assurance, we can begin to tackle issues like gun violence with faith and confidence and even common sense. Amen.